Hey everybody, it's Cynthia. I know I haven't been very consistent with my videos, and I'd like to try to change that. And here's what I had in mind. I feel like I would like to do something that's a little bit more helpful to the people who are growing an eBay store or just starting out. And what I realize is I usually don't do haul videos until I have something that I consider to be extremely unusual to show. But gives you kind of an unbalanced picture of what it's really like to be a full-time eBay seller. There are several full-time eBay sellers that do videos, lots of them actually, but the majority of them here in the United States anyway are clothing sellers. Now, obviously I have some clothing sitting in front of me, but I don't consider myself a clothing seller. When I talk about clothing sellers on eBay, what I'm talking about are people who sell everyday sort of clothing, jeans, regular shirts, women's dresses, and just common clothing, designer clothing, high-end clothing, or shoes, things like that. When I say the clothing that I sell is all somewhat pop culture related, t-shirts and things that all have kind of a pop culture bent to them. And then I sell other items, some vintage, and occasionally, items that don't really fit into the theme of our store, which is very entertainment oriented, but, is a good flip. So what I wanted to do was start a new series of videos that shows you what I sourced on a daily, if I've sourced that day, basis. Which means they're not always going to be amazing. Some of them are just going to be average, what people call bread and butter items. And then every couple of days or at the end of the week, I will do a solds video that shows you what has sold, and hopefully some of the things I've picked up will have sold. Because another thing I'm looking at is how quick things I pick up flip. And I've been kind of keeping track, sort of an unofficial accounting of how this works. And we sell quite a few items within a couple of days of listing. And then otherwise they sort of sit for 2 or 3 months. It's kind of a weird thing. So I don't know, I thought we'd learn this together. So we're going to call this day 1 of source, list, sell. And we're going to show what it takes. Now, I'm not technically a full-time reseller, but I'm pretty darn close. So if you're following the pattern that I'm following, you should definitely, it's more than just a part-time job. Let's put it that way. So I think we're going to dive in. And of course, the minute I decided to do this, people moving around in the house, but that's all right. We're going to jump in anyway. So today I was at an estate sale, and it's an estate sale from a company I don't normally go to. It was a very high-end home, and I did not pick up very much, but it's actually kind of typical for me. Again, a lot of the clothing resellers come back with bags and bags of items. I do not typically do that on an average day. I generally have maybe 10 tops items on a sourcing trip. And that's it, which is one of the reasons then I have no trouble keeping up with my listing, because I'm not bringing home hundreds of items. So I'm one of the rare folks that doesn't have a death pile, as they call it. So here's what I picked up today. Let's dive in, because I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter. So this really cool t-shirt is from The Mountain. And if you're not familiar, The Mountain is let me get the label for you here. So this is a company that makes very animals and nature t-shirts, and they're all made in the USA. And I don't know if they all do, but quite a few of them have this interesting sort of tie-dye modeled fabric that goes all the way through to the back. I thought this one was really cool. And I believe it's called, oh my God, I forgot already. I think it's called Moon Man or something moon, tree moon, something like that. So again, very cool imagery. Let's see if I can go back a little bit and get you a bigger picture of what it looks like. Neat moon in the corner. Very nice. Sadly, no, all these t-shirts I only paid $2 for, which is the price point I love for t-shirts. Unfortunately, when I got this one home, I found that it had this wear on the back. Now, the person who these belong to was a skateboarder, and I know that sometimes skateboarders, the backs or the sides of their shirts get roughed up from carrying the skateboard next to their body. So that's a little bit of a shame. Here's the bigger shame. As cool as this is, this particular print is still available to get new online. So anybody who wants this print can get it in any size they want for in the $20 range, which means I cannot sell this in the $20 range used, which is my preferred sell point for shirts. I should be able to, for $2, I'll totally recoup my money. I don't think I'll have too much trouble selling it. I'll just, go in at a much lower price. Somebody who doesn't want to spend 20 on the shirt will be able to get it from me for a lot less. This is the second The Mountain shirt. I also want to say I don't always buy shirts from The Mountain. Some of them I think are just way too common, but I didn't find a lot else today. Like if I'd found other shirts, I would have left these behind, but they were, they're generally a good find. Like they do normally sell. Some sell a lot better than others. And they also have, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on my camera, in the corner here on the front of the shirt, you'll see the name of the person whose art it is and the year, and that'll help you find the name. This one is actually called The Guardian. They do a lot of wolf shirts, very, very pretty, and again, really nice color. This shirt's in much better condition, even though it's been washed and worn, but same problem. You can still get this shirt new. So it's probably going to get listed for about $14 because, again, they can buy it new for closer to the 20 range. Like I said, this is not my top. This isn't even stuff I would normally pick up. Again, if I'd gone to a thrift store, I would not have bought these items. The reason I bought them today was because I was at the estate sale and this was the option that I had in front of me, and I don't like to leave with nothing when I think I can get something. So this is really cool. This is a design from Celtic Designs by Jen. I'm probably going to say it wrong. Dilith, maybe? She does, I'm assuming it's a she, is known for her Celtic artwork. You'll see it in books, coloring books, things like that. This print is called Warrior. And this one is almost brand new, which is really cool. Similar issue, this shirt is still available if you go to the Celtic Designs website. So again, for that reason, I had to put it up a little less than I would like to for a t-shirt in order to get it to sell, like I said, because people can get in any size they want. It's a good size, it's a large, and it's a good shape. I do think it's going to sell fairly quickly. It is a beautiful design, and it's a great shirt. But again, we're going to be in the $14 or less range. This is the first shirt I saw there that I decided to buy, and it's just, I bought it because it's weird, and sorry to anybody who is part of this program, but I thought it was really unique. So it's a program called Cyber Patriot, National Youth Cyber Defense Competition, and it really is a competition for for students who are working in IT, cybersecurity, computer programming, and what they do is they get a chance to work with some big companies and create cyber protection systems, which is such a huge thing right now. Obviously, every day we read about some kind of data breach and some big website. So this is about training the next generation of cyber protectors. So again, kind of really cool tech shirt. I sell a lot of tech shirts. I love tech shirts. The reason I kind of picked this up is from Northrop Grumman, Cisco, Norton, Boeing, Splunk, lots of great tech companies, and Air Force and airplane companies, military companies, and Facebook are involved in the competition. I don't know if anybody's going to want this shirt who hasn't had anything to do with it, or maybe somebody will want it because it's, again, just an unusual tech t-shirt. But I'm going to list it. There's nothing like it listed right now. I'll probably put it up in the $14, $15 range just because I think it's, again, kind of really specific. It's a beautiful blue shirt, though, too. So, yeah. I know you're learning absolutely nothing so far, right? Well, now you're going to learn something. You're going to learn something from this right here. Okay. So what we have here are dust bags. Basically, if you are not a connoisseur of high-end handbags or shoes, you may never have seen one of these before. But basically what these are fabric bags with the logo from a company on them that are that you get when you buy a very high-end item in order to protect it when you're not using it. So this is Rag & Bone New York, which I knew was a good company, but I didn't know, I've never seen bags for them. You usually see them for Coach and Chanel and other things like that. But I looked it up and they were somewhat popular. The items, the handbags or shoes that might have come in this would definitely be in the $100 or more range. So again, somebody would want to protect that. The estate sale that we were at, as I said, was a very high-end, the owner had a lot of high-end clothing, which was not there. Not that I would have bought it anyway, like I said. But I loved these bags because usually nobody wants them. I got them for about 50 cents each. And they resell for a couple of reasons. They sell to people who have an item and don't have the bag, either because it got damaged or they lost it or they never had one in the first place, and they want the authentic bag to go with the item they own. Also, other resellers will buy them in order to up the value of an item they have. So if another reseller has a Rag & Bone small purse that will fit in this, buying this from me to add to their sale could help them get a much higher price. So this one could sell in the $10 to $14 range. Yes, by itself. Crazy, huh? The other reason, if you find a lot of these bags, pick them up. If you're going to get them cheap like this, 50 cents, they sell really well in lots of bags. And also I think that sometimes people just want them either as a joke or just to feel better about their items that aren't quite as expensive if they keep them in an expensive bag. So just remember to look them up as dust bags or dust covers. We have Rag & Bone, and I don't want to hear it. It's just a brand name. This is Ivanka Trump. This is a really big bag, so I'm assuming this was for a large handbag, most likely. It does seem to have, it's interesting because it's kind of perforated, like it, so it would let maybe to let moisture through. This also is in the $10 range. Yeah, for the empty bag. Yes, I'm not kidding. And you think that's great. Wait till you see my real winner of the day. Oh, look, why do things never go back the way you get them? I don't know. Can't refold that. All right. This is the winner of the day. This was what caught my eye first, and it was stuffed with packing paper. And it is, again, just a very large white bag from Givenchy. I think it's Givenchy. Clearly, it had something very big in it. It probably a very large purse. Well, actually, I know. I have a better idea, but I'll tell you that in a minute. Very large purse probably went with this bag. There's a slight mark there. In general, again, very clean. Believe it or not, this bag alone sells for $35. No joke. Minimally, we're talking 20 some dollars. Now, I only spent $10 today at the estate sale. All the shirts I showed you and the bags, $10 was what I handed over. So if I get even $20 on this one bag, I have made my money and I'm good. Now, once again, this doesn't really fit in the pop culture thing we were discussing, but it kind of does because, you know, these brand names are big business and yeah. So here's why somebody would pay $35 for this bag. Inside the bag was the paperwork that came with the item that the bag was meant to hold. It does say leather goods, and it says it was from Paris, and does talk about it being a bag, so I'm pretty sure it was a handbag. And I think it was a handbag, and it came from Nordstrom's because I also have Nordstrom South Coast Plaza receipt is in there. And I'm going to show you how much money the bag that came with this bag, the handbag that came in this bag, what do you think the person paid for it at South Coast Plaza almost 4 years ago? Maybe you know, but I almost fell over. $2,040. And I have the receipt, and with tax, when they were done, it was called something called Collection H Pandora, if that means something to someone, a large Pepe bag. They paid $2,200 for the handbag that came in with this bag. Now, you can see why. When you spend $2,000 on a leather bag, you want to protect it. So that's why the bag alone is worth $35. Because if someone else has a $2,000 bag and they want this, or again, they have a $100 bag and they want to protect it in the Givenchy style, then there you go. I do keep thinking I've got a little mistake there. But is that crazy? I'm not a purse person, so maybe it's me, but I cannot imagine spending $2,000 on a bag that you carry like every day and put in the car and put on the chair in the restaurant or whatever. I don't know. What does a $2,000 bag like look like? How is it different than a $1,000 bag or a $100 bag? I don't know. You tell me in the comments below. If you're a handbag person, I would love to hear the rationalization of buying a $2,000 handbag. I could go on vacation for that. Anyway, so that's what I'm hoping. $35 for that, or at least $30 because it's got a little bit of a mark on it, but that's okay. The last thing I want to show you was sort of part of my haul today, but kind of in a different way. But it was definitely part of my sourcing that arrived today. Let's see if I can lift this so you can see it better. We'll show you what it is, and then we'll tell you about it. So it's a Falling Skies hoodie, and it's got this really cool patch. They want you on the arm. Now, Falling Skies is a sci-fi show from TNT. I don't believe it's on anymore. I believe it is off the air, and it goes back a good number of years. This is a little bit more worn than I would have liked. It's a little bit pilled. The tag is missing, so the tag has been cut out, so I don't have the size. But, you know, I'm thinking it's a medium. I don't think it's a large. Maybe it's a large, but it's definitely at least a medium, so it's not terribly small. It was a promo that I think was maybe given out. I can't believe they just gave him out at Comic-Con. No, it might have been like a promo for the press. I used to get a lot of promo stuff like this. Or maybe they sold them. I don't know. I haven't found another one exactly like it. I found some similar shirts, but nothing exactly like this. So here's why this is a little bit unusual. I mean, other than for what it is. I have had some recent luck sourcing in a different way, sourcing online, as it were. This came from Shop Goodwill, which is the Goodwill online auction. So it's like eBay, but for Goodwill. In the past, I've had a lot of trouble buying from them because the shipping costs are outrageous. So if you're going to buy anything from Shop Goodwill, pay really close attention to the shipping because they charge shipping and a handling fee on top of your winning auction bid. So be really wary about that. But lately, they've been starting to do more auctions with very reasonable shipping and even 1 cent shipping. So basically, you're just pretty much paying maybe a couple dollars above for the handling fee above what you bid. Look, too, this is one of these nice shirts that has the thumb hole, too, for your hands. So this was on Shop Goodwill, and I wouldn't even have thought about bidding on it, but it was actually up for a buy it now, which is also very unusual on Shop Goodwill, for just a few cents more than the bid. And I could have bid on it and waited and for 50 cents. But they said between that and the very reasonable shipping, I paid about $14 for this, which is kind of funny because that seems like a lot when I bought it. But then I thought if I saw this in a thrift store for $14, I wouldn't jump instantly on it, but I'd probably buy it because sweatshirts in my store anyway are usually $8 or more. Salvation Army often has them marked at $12 or more. So it's not out of line. But that's also the reason I didn't see the wear on it because I didn't actually get to look at it. I was buying it, online. I decided to take a chance though because a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago, I bought a piece of wardrobe, a Jane Russell shirt, if you know her, the movie star, on Shop Goodwill. I got a deal on it because they had listed it kind of badly and it didn't go the first time. And so we went a second time. I swear we're having an earthquake. No joke. Anyway, the point was, just coincidentally, they ended up listing it for really cheap where I thought, I just got to buy it. And I bought it for $14 shipped. That was the shipped price, and resold it for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So, yeah, that was me doing my homework and finding it. And yeah, so I went back on this week, I said, and found this. I spend a lot of time looking at Shop Goodwill for things that the bids are way too high and you'll never get it. So I wouldn't recommend it as a general sourcing tool. However, if you enjoy looking at things for sale and just seeing what's available, you will every so often stumble across something, especially if you know your business better than they do. So if you're selling items, like for example, the Funko Pops that you can see over here, they have those marked, all of them, crazy prices, and people have caught on to it, and every Funko Pop lot sells for a ton. So you're probably not finding a deal on those. But on things that are a little bit more obscure that you might know about that other people don't, whether you can identify something in a different way, then yeah, it's totally, you can find a deal and yeah, and resell it. Anyway, so I am going to stop there. That's what I've got this week. So this was my today. So this came in the mail today. That's why I'm calling it part of today's haul. That is all I bought today. I had intended to go to a thrift store today other than just the estate sale. I never made it out the door. So I am hoping, so let's say between the 10 I spent there and the 14 this, I spent 25, let's call it, dollars on items that I sourced today. And I'm thinking, give me one sec, I'm thinking we'll go conservatively 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. On the low side, I should have $100 worth of stuff here, and I'm hoping I have closer to about $125, possibly a little bit more because I really have no idea what this is going to go for my $25 investment. Now remember, of that $125 sales, I have to pay fees, I have to pay shipping, but I'd be good with that. If I could turn $25 into $125 and this stuff flips fairly quickly, I think about half of it will flip fairly quickly. I think the other half's going to take a little bit longer. I am good with that. So I really am going to stop here. Tomorrow I'm going on a big sourcing trip. I don't normally do this, or I only do it every so often. I'm going to hit some further out stores that I normally don't go to because they're a little further away. So I should have a bigger haul for you tomorrow. And then I said later this week I will do a what sold video so we can see if any of the things that I've shown you have sold before the week is out. So this is my plan, to try to show you sourcing every day. If you have any suggestions of things you'd like to know more about or ways I can improve this that would help you more, because in the end, that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is give you some ideas and things that you can pick up in order to grow your eBay store if you are a fan of pop culture and vintage items. All right, have a great night. I will see you guys with any luck tomorrow.